it really hit me when I was in school and I had to fill out a questionnaire. You know how you don't want to repeat an outfit? And then for me, with hip hop and loving music, I get into arguments about this.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Psych of Fashion, where we focus on what we wear, why we wear it, and how it impacts us. I'm Nora, and today's guest is absolutely remarkable, so much so that I have to read his intro because I need to do him justice. So today's guest is someone whose rhythm has influenced both music and culture, Dr. Antwan Amadeus Thompson. He's a multi-platinum producer, author, music director for Trey Songz, drummer aficionado, and community warrior. His impact goes far beyond the studio. It's in the confidence, creativity, and cultural expression that defines his presence. In this episode, we're diving into the intersection of hip-hop, fashion, and identity, exploring how style isn't just about what's on the surface, but about what it says, who it represents, and the power it holds. So grab your coffee, your confidence, and let's get into it.
Yeah.
Welcome. How are you?
That was exquisite.
Yeah, so I had to do you justice. I was like, listen, your resume is kind of like it's a big resume. So I'm like, I gotta do right by you.
Thank you.
So
before you
yes,
speak,
go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here.
I want to give you your flowers. You are amazing at what you do. I love that you built this amazing platform. I've never discussed this topic, so I'm honored to be here to discuss this. I think I do quite well when it comes to fashion.
Yes,
I hear
loving it.
I do quite well. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you. Congrats on everything. And I know this is going to be
thank you. I appreciate
epic.
it. Oh my God. Yes, thank you very much. And obviously, yes, your outfit is like.
Yes, did I do it today? Look at the socks.
You did it right. I love it. I love it. Yes. Well, listen, fashion is all about what you feel, right?
Yes.
Like, there's no right or wrong, at least the way I see it. As long as it's in alignment and then you feel authentic.
I agree.
You got it.
I agree.
So anyway, so you've worn so many hats. You're a producer, author, drummer, community leader, right? How would you describe your style in one word? Let's get right into this talking about style.
You know, it like you said it's about a mood, right? I love colors. I love patterns. I'm very matchy. Like it has to be the
like
right
your monochrome?
tone. Yeah,
okay,
it has
I like
to,
that.
Like I'm the guy that if the sneakers are white, then the socks have to be white. Not the sneakers are off-white and the socks are white because there's two different whites.
Yes.
Like that's how I love detailed
that. Listen,
I am.
I'm a monochromatic girly, so I totally get it.
I get into arguments about this. You know what I'm saying? Because
really?
I feel like, no, that's not white, that's off-white. And they're like, this is white. I'm telling you, okay, so put that against that, and you see it's two different tones, two different colors, and then you see it. So it's about a feeling. It's about a feeling. It's about a mood. I feel like it's a conversation piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, people can ask you questions about it. People, what inspired this? And I kind of get up and put some music on, and that's my process of getting dressed. Put some music on and see what I gravitate towards, whether it's colors, whether it's patterns, depending on where I'm going that day, what borough I'm in, what hood I'm in. It all depends, what's going on.
Right?
And that's how I choose.
Well, tell us, I mean, you were raised in the Bronx.
Yes.
What were you influenced by fashion? Like, who inspired you? What messaging you got as a young man growing up about fashion? So we'll take, I guess, tell us about your upbringing.
Love that. So growing up in the Bronx, very tough neighborhood. Grew up on 169th Washington Avenue. They call my block the 9, not for the 169th, but the 9, literally. It's, very tough neighborhood. So for me, fashion was definitely dope. And I did my best to try to kind of keep up. My parents sacrificed, sent me to Catholic school, so they paid for tuition. So I had to dress up every day. And it's funny because I didn't even realize that you was going to ask this question, and I'm wearing gray slacks, and that was the color slacks I had to wear to school.
I love
from
that.
1st to 12th grade, gray slacks.
See, it comes back full circle.
So before, it was forced, today is an option. You know what I mean? That I can actually appreciate. So that's what it was growing up for me. A little difficult because I couldn't wear what everyone else was wearing. Yeah. Definitely a fan of the Jordans. Definitely a fan of Timberlands. Back then, Averex was huge. Pele, Vasquez,
Pele.
boots.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying?
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Averex, Pepe jeans.
Oh my God!
Guess jeans.
Yes.
Parasuco jeans.
Yes, I remember.
But not to say we couldn't afford it. The finances were being prioritized.
Well,
right?
absolutely.
So I couldn't wear and rock what everybody else is rocking. So I kind of was like, well, I guess I'll watch everybody else do their thing. And then for me, with hip hop and loving music, I used to watch Video Music Box growing up. Shout out to Uncle Ralph McDaniels, and you used to see all of the artists that I, gravitated towards, Wu-Tang and Nas and Naughty by Nature, wearing the Timberlands and the hat, the polo hat with the string coming down, and there was so much style back then, and I loved it. When I did work summer youth. So when I did work and save up money, I would go shopping and try to wear what it was I was inspired by, influenced by. I don't know if it was necessarily the proper brands, because the brands cost a lot more money. But if you can get kind of like, somewhat of what it is, that's kind of how it was for me growing up.
Isn't that where Dapper Dan comes in? Because Dapper Dan was from Harlem.
Yeah.
And wasn't it taking the logos and kind of putting them in? Was it stitching them onto garments?
I think it was like leather and, different patterns that he was creating. That was like on a whole nother level. So I wasn't even looking at that. Like that was just
because he essentially put the luxury brand on stage with so much that they brought him in to get ideas, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now, am I right to think that hip hop started in the Bronx?
You're right.
I am.
And I'm glad you got that right, because it would have been a whole argument here if you would have said any other borough.
Isn't that crazy? Like when you think about that hip hop started in the Bronx, and now it's literally worldwide.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have K-pop, you have rappers in the Middle East like rapping in Arabic, which for me, I'm like blown away. I've never been I was never exposed to anyone rapping in Arabic.
Right.
So how crazy is that your freaking hometown?
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Starts something that worldwide is still keeping alive today.
And who would have ever knew, like you said, that it would have reached that point? You know what I mean? So to grow up loving it, seeing it, developing, not even knowing that it was my borough that created it, right? And then fast forward, here we are today, and playing a part in it, and actually being a music producer and creating and working with some of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. Just a blessing, you know what I mean?
Well, give us some of your, some of the artists you worked with, some of in your resume.
Man, it's over 100 artists.
I know it's over
100 artists.
So people know.
I'm very calm. I'm gonna put my leg up. I'm very relaxed. Let me see how much I can remember. J-Lo, Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Justin Bieber, CeeLo Green, Danny DeCane, Day 26, Fabulous, T.I., Keisha Cole, Busta Rhymes, French Montana, Papoose, Remy Ma, Dave East, Young and May, Maya.
Wow.
Look, I'm doing pretty good here.
You're doing extremely
Marcus Houston, Trippie Redd. It's Joe Budden. It's just so many, and I don't. I love you. So if I forget your name, just know I love you. It's just hard to remember each and every single great artist that I've worked with.
Right, for so many years, right?
Yeah, 25 plus years.
I was thinking B2K.
B2K. Well, we haven't worked together, but it's funny because people say that.
You said Marcus Houston. It's not
Marcus Houston. So he was the elder group that came before them. Yes.
Yes. Because I remember. Because I remember him. There was someone else who used to sing with him. Was he in a group?
He was in a group. I just talked about this not too long ago. Immature?
Yes. Immature, yes.
Yeah.
And before, I remember Chris Cross.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of all these, now you're bringing me back to who I remember as a kid
growing
Lane,
up.
Huh? There was somebody who made it on Love and Hip Hop, and then he was booted off after season 1 after hitting someone.
Oh, Lord.
And he had a really good song.
Was it?
Is it You Give Me the Business, You Give Me the Business, something like that? I don't want...
Yeah, I don't want to sing the song. I don't want to say the wrong artist.
Flag this episode. Anyway, so obviously you've been in the music industry. How much do you think? How does fashion contribute culturally to both? Is it fashion influences hip hop or music influences fashion?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's a mixture of both, because when you think about some of my favorite artists, and just to give them a shout out, I love the way Fabulous dresses.
Yeah.
Another artist that I work with, Fab, and Jim Jones. Fab is from Brooklyn. Jim Jones is from Harlem. French dresses well. He's from the Bronx. It's everything, man. It's look at J-Lo. You know what I mean? We were just watching a video just now before we started shooting, and the first thing I said to you, knowing that that we're talking about fashion, was her jacket. So it's a statement piece.
Yes.
Like you said, it makes you feel a certain kind of way. It puts a certain swagger to you. And I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Tell me.
I had an event I had an event a few days ago in the Bronx where I was speaking on a panel, and you know how you don't want to repeat an outfit?
Yes.
Because it's been documented. You've been filmed in it. You shot photos in it. And I was going home to the Bronx, but it was some outfits that I really, really wanted to wear, and I'm like, I probably can get away with this, because I don't think these people that saw this would see or be there.
Yeah.
But I decided not to do it. And I wore an outfit, and I didn't love it. And it's really powerful of how influential fashion is and how it makes you feel. Because the whole day, how you just be, you just had that energy and that swag. I was just kind of real And I kind of kept looking at it and kept looking at the jeans and kept looking at the jacket. And I was like, and then when I went to the panel.
It threw you off a little bit because now you're like too focused, yeah.
And when I went to the panel, everyone was like, yo, those jeans are fire. Look, they was very unique jeans. Jeans is fire. And I kept saying, thank you. And I was honest. And I was like, yo, I wasn't sure about this outfit. I didn't love it. It wasn't like my first choice, but I know it was a look that I've never worn. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to, you know, have a look that wasn't documented. But it's very powerful of how what you're wearing influence you and just, you know, deals with your swag and your energy and your vibe.
Well, you mentioned that. How do you think social media plays a role in having us express fashion right today? Is it like a positive thing? Is it a negative thing? Or are you indifferent to it? Like, what's your POV on it?
I think it's a mixture of everything, right? Because it allows you to see things.
For sure.
So from a positive standpoint, you know, it gives you ideas. It gives you, it gives you a different approach. It gives you a different perspective of how you can rock something. So I feel like everything we do in life, we're influenced by.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, unless you started it or you know, or created it, we're influenced by. And I think it's all about taking what we see and what we're influenced by and making it our own.
Sure,
so I love
instead of people who are just copying.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not gonna wear your whole exact thing, but I like what you did with the slacks. So I'm gonna take the slacks and I'm gonna put a little bit of me in there and just do me. You know what I mean? And I think that's very important. So from a positive stance, I feel like that's how it makes me feel and how I appreciate it. But from, you know, I wouldn't say negative, but you know, kind of like people do try to copy you. People do try to mimic what you're doing.
With social media, they see something and they're like, I'm literally, I don't have to put in the work. I'll just copy the entire outfit.
Correct.
Which I think it's not going to get them in alignment, right? So it becomes inauthentic.
Yeah.
And that's why they're going to be not feeling it because essentially you're picking it for the wrong reasons. You're not really seeing, is it aligned with who I am and my values?
Some people don't even think that deep.
Right.
Some people are just surface and just go with, I don't care how it makes me feel. I don't care how the fact that it's not authentic. It's fire. It looks fire. No. And I got it from so-and-so. I'm just going to rock with it. Or he or she wore that, so I'm definitely going to wear that because that's how influenced and inspired I am by that person, which is not a bad thing. You know, that's why we have now, all of a sudden, we have influencers, right? Where it's like, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do something. And because you're influenced by me, you're probably going to do the same thing that I'm doing. You're going to wear the same thing.
Which I think what's becoming crazy. I mean, listen, I love social media. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm on it clearly. But I do see, like, we have evolved our perception of beauty, and I feel like all women are looking the same. Everyone's just looking the same.
I love
like
it.
It's like the same hair, the same bodycon dresses, and that's where I know I'm like, is this really you, or is this what you think what beauty is, right? And don't get me wrong. I mean, listen, throw it on, do what you got to do, but like, how many people are actually really dressing for themselves or just following the, you know, the?
I love this topic, and I think when you say that, it helps me think about back in our times, right? Not saying that we're old like that. I don't use the word old. I use the word vintage.
Yes, no such thing as old. I love that. We are vintage.
Yes, we're vintage. But think about in our times where there wasn't internet, where there wasn't social media. It was all about you.
Well, you had to be creative back then.
Yeah. You know, so like you said, when you fast forward and everybody's starting to look the same, and even with music, like everything's starting to sound the same. Because like it's right there in front of you. So like where is the creativity? Where's the imagination? Like we had to imagine things. We saw things, but it wasn't so much in our faces the way it is now. And like you said, like there's a lack of individualism.
Yes.
And that's from a fashion standpoint to self and music as well, right? We had a conversation before we started filming, right? But we talked about artists that we appreciated. And you mentioned Nas and you mentioned Biggie like and you mentioned Tupac.
Biggie.
Those three artists, right? Think about this. They're three individual artists that no one sounds the same. No one is making the same type of music. No one is choosing the same type of beats. The topics are different. Yeah. Three completely different artists, right? Where you can fast forward today and name three artists and you're like, well, he sounds like him. She sounds like her. They're doing the same thing.
You never really know. Everyone sounds the same.
They're working with the same producers. That's what's missing. And for me, as a creator in music, I feel like what makes a superstar is a tone. Not to say that's the number one thing, but for me, what I gravitate towards is an artist tone. So we talk about Nas, we talk about Biggie, we talk about Pop.
We also got to shout out Joe Budden. I mean, he put Jersey on the map. I'll never forget. I'm like, Jersey's here. Yep.
Joe Budden is one of the greatest artists and lyricists of all time.
I mean, because for me growing up, I only enjoyed hip hop because it was in New York, right? And we were in Jersey, but he really put like Jersey on its own map. And I always appreciated that about him. That
What about Naughty by Nature? You don't Naughty by Nature too.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Naughty by Nature, absolutely.
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah. Okay,
that was
yeah. My bad.
But Joey definitely was like.
But I guess I'm remembering that song, like Jersey's here, like meaning we are here.
I just heard "Pump It Up" the other day from Joe Budden, and it gave me that same feeling.
What about Noriega? Where's he from?
Noriega is from. I feel like he's
Run
from
laps around the English Channel.
Queens.
Queens, okay.
Left Rack City. Yeah, he's from Queens. But you see, like you named Noriega. That tone and that Remy Ma, Remy
it was
from the
raw.
Bronx.
It was honest. It expressed like what people were going through, and you could really relate because now you're like, oh my god, I'm not in this alone, right? Yeah. And it dealt with real issues, essentially, old school hip hop.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, I don't even understand what they're saying.
But you know what it is, though?
I have no idea.
Here's my take on this, right? And I know you can relate to this too. Growing up, my mom and dad, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Salt and Pepper, Furious 5, right? Then my era was like Wu-Tang and then KRS-One and Brand Nubian and Nas, right? And
what about Anthony Hamilton? Do you ever listen to Anthony Hamilton?
Anthony Hamilton. NDRE. Yeah, so that's our time, right? Then you fast forward a little bit. Now you have Drake and Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma, and then you move on. Now you got like Playboy Cardi, and you have all of these young Lotto and Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lane, and what you're seeing is like the styles and the sounds, and it's changing. So for me, I didn't like, and I know my parents meant well, but they just was riding with their time and riding with the music that they grew up to. Yeah. But they looked at the music that I listened to as not hip hop or not real music.
Oh, okay.
So one thing that I'm careful of is just respecting music in general.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's expression. True. So we're coming from the era where they talked about what they've gone through, what they experienced, the hood, drugs, violence, gangs. It's really the same thing, but just from a different lens. We can't relate because we're not that age group. That's not our demographic. Now, my son, that's 20 years old, he's right within the sound and what's going on. Like, he just went to see Playboy Cardi at a Prudential Center last night, and he sent me a video, and that joint was jammed, packed, and they were absolutely going nuts. And that's okay, right? So as a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, they're not into
I guess I am coming across a little judgmental. Yeah. I mean, listen, I love Gen Zers and everything, but I just sometimes I just don't understand what.
And that's fine. I say it's instead of downplaying it or making them feel bad or saying it's not real hip hop, because a lot of the OGs do that. I don't do that because it's expression.
Like they look down like, what is this?
It's expression, and at the end of the day, like you said, same with fashion. Right. It's expression. There's no right or wrong. It's the same thing with music. Now, we have a choice. I compared it to a cup of tea. You may like, lavender, or I might like chamomile.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you your tea is not as good as mine because we don't drink the same tea. You drink the tea you drink. You put how many sugars or honey you want to put in. I'm going to put a lemon in. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon. You're going to enjoy your tea. I'm going to enjoy mine.
Have our own recipe. Yeah. Which makes sense.
So it's no need for me to knock your cup of tea over because it ain't what I'm drinking. So that's how I compare.
I love that outlook. No, you definitely made me something to give me
we have
think
choices.
About. Yeah,
so when you get in the car, you can go to your Apple Music. You can go to Tidal, Spotify, whatever you use, or the radio. There's stations, there's channels that's playing different genres.
Absolutely.
And you choose what you want to hear. So at the end of the day, for those that are tuned in, if it's not your cup of tea, just choose a different cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, these young kings, young queens that are out here doing their thing, they're taking care of themselves. And
they also, like the Gen Zers, for example, they have a higher rate of anxiety. So I know they have, I'm a teacher, so I know, their struggles from like the emotional aspect. So then, in other words, what do you think younger generations should understand about balancing image and identity when it comes to music, fashion, expressing themselves and not trying to fall into falling into, but trying to be their own individual in an environment where everyone is being the same?
Love that question. It's going to sound so simple, but I think it's very powerful. I think it's all about self-love.
Yeah.
Of loving who you are and for how this is my beliefs in how God made you. Right? So that's kind of the conversation that I go when I visit the schools and host assemblies about who are you? What do you love? What are you passionate about? What are you excited about? Not what everyone else is excited about, what everyone else loves. You. What do you love? What are you passionate about? So when you're able to tap into that and to really love self and love who you are and how you're made, do I have the longest hair? No. Do I have the curliest hair? No. Do I have the best skin? No. Do I have the biggest muscles? No, right? But there's only one you in the world, right? So if you don't appreciate yourself, if you don't love yourself, then how can anyone else? I think it starts with that. Once we deal with that and get people to really authentically love who they are and how they're made, and then, you got to work with what you got.
Right.
We can go to the gym. I just love the gym. And it's like I'm trying to. Who knows if I'll ever have a six pack? I don't know. But as long as I'm in there and I'm feeling good and I'm doing, because it's more than the outer.
Well, how do you think we can get kids to love themselves and be aware
Having
and
a
tap into
conversation.
what what do I want out of life?
Having a conversation. And you're an educator, and when I step into these schools, they're being taught what needs to be taught. They're learning the subject, the reading, math, English, to be able to survive in the world we live in, right? Yeah. But then I'll come in and say, okay, you know what? You guys got this covered. But are we talking about who you are and what you want to do and what you want to be and what you want to become in life? Yeah. And most times they're not. And it's just something that they get super excited about because it's something that excites them. Not everybody's excited about reading. Not everybody's excited about math or social studies or biology. Right. But when it comes to what you love and what you dream about at night and what you want to be, there's a level of excitement. So I think it's about having the conversation, showing and spreading love. My daughter said something the other day, and hopefully she doesn't get mad, but she talked about being heard.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Not being talked down to in a way that's condescending, but
just being heard. I just want you to listen to what I'm saying. I know you're older than me. I know you're my dad. I know you've been here and done that. But there's some things I may want to share of my feelings that I want to express. And the only way I can do that is if you be quiet and you listen and hear what I have to say. I want to be heard. And most people, or not even just children, adults too, whether it's relationships, whether it's partnerships, whether it's siblings.
Well, the emotional intelligence aspect, definitely, I feel like we need to, as a society, maybe put a little more emphasis on learning and understanding, where it's like it is about compassion and about empathy and creating that space, a non-judgmental space, for
Absolutely.
people. So.
Imagine this, and again, you're in the education field, right? So imagine, well, you don't have to imagine, I'm sure you deal with it, but a kid that acts out. Mm-hmm. I can feel your spirit, I know your heart, right? So I know that you would approach it in the right way.
Right.
But most teachers would react to that in a negative way. Somebody's talking out, stop yelling, stop, put your hand down, go outside. Instead of getting a feeling of, why are you acting like that? No. Why are you moving like that? Why is your energy in this way? So instead of thinking in a negative space, you know what I mean, and scolding and yelling and speaking down, how about respond with love? You know what, so-and-so, I see that you interrupted the class. I'm not happy about that, but do you have something to share? You have something that you want to share with all of us? You need to take a 5-minute break. You want to take a walk. And I'm no scholar. I'm not educated in the field of psychology or anything like that. But it's just about having a heart and being mindful and saying and putting yourself in someone else's shoes. What can be possibly happening at home? What is he or she not receiving?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, and I'm going to share a story with you. 2 years ago, I had this student who sat on my AP class, and a very smart girl, did her work, but rarely ever talked. Like, she rarely ever talked to anyone, right? But I would still be like, "Hey, girl, how are you?" Try to put a smile on her face, and she would smile every now and then. And then the last day of school, she gave me an envelope with a note in it, and she's like, "Read it when I leave." And then I read it, and I can cry right now thinking about it. But she's like, "I want you to know, this year my family and I were homeless. Wow. And we didn't have anywhere to live. I could cry right now, literally thinking about it.
It's okay.
But just she's like, being in your class just really helped me get through it, and you're such an inspiration, and thank you. And I'm like, where is this girl right now? I need to find her and give her a hug. But I don't have the chance to. She just gave me that note, and she said to read it after she left, and I did, and that's what she wrote in it.
But just know that wherever she is, she'll never forget you. And that's what it's about. It's about, and I told you, without even knowing any of this, and we're just meeting face to face today, but you can feel other spirit and other energy and know how they are. I wouldn't sit here if you weren't that person.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I mean? Likewise. So just know, wherever she is, that you've made impact in her life and that you were a blessing, and just something simple as a hi or attention or a moment to just give someone your time. You never know what that does.
A lot of these kids carry a lot of burden. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely true. Yeah. So I know that was a little bit heavy, but I do want to transition because, listen, there's a lot to get through, right?
Got you.
I want to talk about, obviously, we know the fashion industry has a major impact in the hip-hop industry,
Yes.
right? I want to go back to Dapper Dan a little bit. Dapper Dan, they brought him in. How do you think the luxury industry has taken from Black communities?
Oh, man.
Or marginalized communities? Because we know oftentimes they're getting a lot of inspiration for their styles.
Yeah.
Right? So what's your POV on that? And have you seen a shift over time in where they've included more people from the community to kind of get their insight into certain things?
When you think about like the Black and Hispanic culture, like we're so, and this is no shot to anyone else. I have love for everyone. Let me say that.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
But I'm Black, so I can speak on me and how in my culture, and we're so amazing. We're so diverse.
Absolutely.
We're so creative. Just the energy and swag from our walk, our talk, how we move, how we visualize things, how we see things, the ideas that we have. So of course, these brands, think about it. Like think about when you see the ads, when you see the commercials, all of these hip hop songs and R&B songs and pop songs that are in commercials and are part of, brands and movies and film. Just we're influencing everything.
You're a part of literally everything, whether it's music, fashion, any event that goes on. There's
Everything.
something there that's from the Black community present.
Think about how Louis Vuitton, tapped in with, Pharrell Williams. I think that's an incredible thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know the ins and outs of the deal. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how it works. But just the fact that he, as a Black man, is the face of that brand is dope. But on the other side, too, it's like knowing how dope we are and kind of using our culture and using who we are to push their brand forward. Knowing you can't do that without us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that we as a people understand the power that we have to create our own.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Shout out to when we have Rockaware and
Rockaware,
Sean, John, and Fubu being the originators of Black Kings that, partnered together and formed the clothing line. Yeah, Baby Fat and apple bottom jeans. Remember apple bottom jeans? So hopefully the creatives, instead of just aligning or attaching themselves to the brands that it's already created, they'll do that. And what I learned too, though, and I love this topic, most of the brands we're wearing are people's names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Louis Vuitton, that's somebody's name. Like Gucci, that's someone's name. And that's why, it's about knowing who you are, believing in who you are, and standing on that. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because with Louis Vuitton and Gucci, I'm not sure if you're aware, but before, how they used to call leather Italian leather? Yeah. Right? That was always the term Italian leather.
Yes,
so it was assumed that leather came from Italy. When in reality, it actually comes from Nigeria. Wow. So it does not come from Italy. And then someone challenged them. They went to court, and the person, I don't know her name, the lawyer who brought this case to wherever court, but they won the case, and now they wouldn't say Nigerian leather, which they should, because Nigerian leather is it's from Kano, it's legit, it's the leather that of quality, right? But they don't give credit to Nigerians. Wow. What they do instead, they call it now genuine leather.
Really?
So make sure you always say Nigerian leather, because chances are that's where it's coming from. Wow. But that's the community that's not given credit for something that you think is Italian leather.
Nigerian leather.
Yes, it's Nigerian leather, yeah. And now they call it genuine leather, so they don't actually use Italian leather anymore. They just say it's genuine leather, but they should just call it what it is and give people the respect.
Do you think them not using Italian leather probably because of the name, they were kind of, you refrain from using it, like the Nigerian name, like just to kind of stay out of or not create any issues with the actual name?
Well, I think it's taking credit away and making people think that it's a European, brand of leather that's coming from. In reality,
like even if they said genuine leather made by or made in Nigeria, I think that would have been dope too.
I mean, however they say it, I don't really care. I just give the credit because people don't know that, right? So so that's something that people should be aware of, that essentially there are people out there making your leather goods, and you call it luxury and all of this. Yeah. But the reality is it's not really come from Italy. Wow. It's coming from Nigeria. So
learn something new every day.
Yeah, see, look at that.
So glad you shared that.
So now, In your view, does luxury sometimes disguise insecurity in marginalized communities? And I say this because there's an individual I follow on TikTok, I don't recall his name, but he made a video once, and he made a good point. He says, let's say Louis Vuitton and Gucci, if you look at their fashion shows, they'll only put like the black models in the logo, like over logo outfits. Like wear the logo bag, the logo dresses, the logo shoes, where it shows the actual logo. And like, let's say white models will have like a Louis Vuitton, but a very discreet clean, where you won't know it's cleaner, it's, plain. So do you think that, I don't know, you take it from our hat.
Yeah,
like, is it them like kind of going into these marginalized communities and saying, hey, we're going to give you status by having you wear our logos? Because, there is a subconscious messaging that we all get when we wear logos. That's not just black communities, really any communities, right? When I have the logo bag that says Gucci or it says Louis Vuitton, that means I am now of status. When in reality, it's an illusion of status. It's not real status, right?
I learned that.
And the way I look at it is if you're buying the cheapest items in the store, then chances are it's not for you.
That's true.
And then the accessories were actually made for also people from marginalized communities because they couldn't afford the clothing. They made bags, and then they made, the belts.
Wow.
So a lot of these things, but do you think it's disguising our insecurities because we're not coming from a community that has these readily available to us? So we need to show these logos? There's no right and wrong. I think
I feel like it has a lot to do with self-esteem and being seen.
No.
And like you said, kind of showing or proving that you're living a certain level. You're at a certain level.
Like I belong too, essentially. Just because I'm not where you're from, I also belong. So I wear this.
You know what? I like that you.
I'm sure there's no one clear answer, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I like that you brought that up because it helps me to think about when I first got into the music industry.
No.
And the music industry is fashion, it's fly. It's what are you driving? What are you drinking? What are you wearing? What jewelry are you rocking? And me coming at such an early age, the first thing I wanted to do was adapt. So I'm buying what you're saying. I'm buying the Gucci belts. I'm buying the pattern, the heavy pattern, whatever brand it is. And I did that for like a few years, and I got to a point where I was just like, I don't really like this stuff.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like we're conditioned in a way to equate our status with wearing their logos.
I've absolutely felt victim of that. No. And just being honest, I don't even like that.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm totally I say if you want something Louis Vuitton, go get it from Louis Vuitton, right? Yeah. Listen, I have a Louis bag with the logo on it. But what I'm saying is buy something because you really want it and because it's providing something from, maybe you remember your grandma. Like I like to wear Chanel because I remember my grandma with her little, not that she wore Chanel, but it kind of emulates a little Chanel bag, right? But it's something that's aligned with you, your history, your values.
You know what I think? I think it's about finding the balance, right? Because at the end of the day, yes, you do it for you, and I'll speak for me. But there's that little side where you do it for others because props. You're going to be seen in it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's, but like I said, if you find the balance to it, where it's more so of you maturing and saying, okay, I like that, and I'm going to buy that because I like that. Now, you're obviously going to see me in it, but I love this first, and I'm not buying it because you guys love it or it's the hot, popular thing. I'm buying it because I love it, and then you're just going to happen to see me in it.
So do you think men, by the way, compare each other when they're looking at like they do? Because I feel like women are more prone to falling victim to getting into debt because they want to be seen essentially with these luxury items to impress girls who they don't like, essentially.
That's true. It could be a innocent battle amongst each other as kings where. You want to rock, you want to be fly, and it could be a side of you where, you want to impress the ladies, you want to impress the women, with what you're wearing, but I just feel like it comes, and this is my opinion, it comes with a certain level of maturity. Yeah. Like I don't move in that. I haven't moved in like that in about 10 to 15 years. It's like I'm going to wear what I love.
Right. I'm
going to rock I'm going to drive what I drive. I'm going to do it because you learn. It's like. Me doing this for others, it's like it doesn't even feel good. Like you're trying to impress, trying to front. If you like you said, if you're not feeling it, at the end of the day, it's like, all right, so I'll take this off. I just wore this today, but I didn't like it, but everybody else liked it. How do you really feel at the end of the day? And you have to be honest with yourself. So when I step out, Like this, no one saw it. I got in the car, came here. When I stepped in front of you, Queens, I was like, yeah. But I felt the way first. I liked it. I liked how it looked.
Right, yeah, makes sense.
And for me, I kind of changed how I shop and how I move. Like I don't shop off brands at all.
Say one more time, you don't shop?
I don't shop by brands.
Okay.
Like I don't know, and it's no shot to any brand. I don't know when the last time I've been in a Louis Vuitton store or a Gucci store. I never wear Balmain. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Like it's if I like it, then whether it's H&M, whether it's I'm pissed that we lost Forever 21, but I used to love.
Oh yeah, Forever 21.
I loved Forever 21.
I remember they first popped up. I was like, what is this?
I loved Forever 21. Fashion Nova. Like, listen, man, this is, and I ain't no shame. This is H&M right here. Yeah. From my jacket to my slacks to the shoes, H&M, right? And
also think quality doesn't have to be from these like big name brand stores. It's just
and some of the stuff
have to learn
I don't
how to
even
look
like.
for the right fabrics and know what you're looking for for quality. Yeah.
But like you said, it's just a feel. It's just a knowing what fits you, what looks good on you, what you like, and you being good with it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there's some brands that I do like that are name brands. Like I like bags, not purses. Let me be clear. We live in a different day. I guess not purses, not man bags, not satchels, none of that. I like duffel bags.
Yes.
I travel a lot, touring, performing, so I love duffel bags. So I have about 3 Louis Vuitton bags, but I purchase it based off of what I like.
Right.
I'm sure you're going to correct me. The Louis Vuitton with the checkered pattern, is it Damier? Damier?
I think so. I'm not sure if I pronounced correctly.
I'm sure you probably
I've never actually bought that logo part of the Louis Vuitton.
Like the checkered.
It's always the LV. Yeah, I never got the checkered one.
So I got the checkered, pattern bag. It's like the off-white. Okay. Stands out. But what I learned is, it's how amazing the quality is. Yeah. I've had those I had those bags for years.
Nigerian leather, baby, that's what it is.
Thrown all over the place, on different planes, flights on the floor in different parts of the world. And that bag is still right there. Zipper's working, buttons working.
Well, if you're spending that much money, you better deliver on what you're spending, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so you mentioned traveling, right? And you also mentioned wearing like Sean John Rockwear back in the day.
Yes.
Do you see that now the sweatsuit is making a comeback in a weird way?
I love sweatsuits.
I mean, I love it too. Listen, I'm all for comfort. Like I love comfort. But do you see now, like back in the day, it's still is reemerging now as like what people are gravitating to?
Sweatsuits, the velour suits.
Yes.
It's just, you can be fly and comfy at the same time.
The Nautica.
Yeah. See, I didn't have none of that, man.
Bomber jackets.
The Nautica joint, the Columbia jackets, the Helly Hansons.
Eddie Bauer. Did you ever wear Eddie Bauer?
Man,
I loved Eddie Bauer. I don't know why.
I was doing a lot of window shopping in my time, back in the day. But it's funny. I'll share a story with you of what I did once I got some money.
Yeah.
Because again, back in the day, I didn't have the Jordans. I didn't have all of those things. So I remember going to Foot Locker on 34th Street, right across from Macy's. And I went in there and I asked the young man that was working there for the Air Force Ones in a 10.5 in every color. Mm-hmm. And he thought I was playing with him and like he wouldn't want to get the sneakers. So then the young lady came out and I was like, listen, I'm trying to buy these sneakers in every color in a 10.5.
Right.
And as a woman, as a queen that you are, she looked at me and she was like, man, don't make me go get these sneakers and bring all these sneakers down. And I said, trust me. So she went and got them, every color, 10.5. I went by, opened it up. I don't like anything tried on. So when I flip over that paper, I want to be the first one to flip over the paper to see the brand new shoes. And looked at them, 10.5s. I was like, all right, cool, let's go. Went to the register, paid for them, and she was just like, and then the dude was sitting in the corner and he was like, I said, I told you I was going to buy them. And that moment was a moment for me because that little kid that was from the Bronx, that was from the hood, that had to dress up every single day, that couldn't have the Jordans and like everybody else. That was a moment for me to revisit my childhood and to get something that I wanted. You know what I mean? So getting all of the Jordans.
It's a moment I made it. Like, I
definitely
I did
a
this.
moment. Definitely a moment. I blew so much money my first year of producing on clothing and fashion, and I was church boy, so I was going to church with suits. I had gaiters in every color, just outrageous. But again, fashion it just is so important, man, and it defines you. It makes you feel amazing. It makes you confident. So when I used to walk into those rooms, and I never talked about this, and I'm glad that you've opened this conversation of going into those labels, you know, seeing the Jay-Z's and the Puff Daddies and all of these artists and playing them music, like I would have to, you would want to be fly. You would want to be dressed in your best dressed outfit, you know, for me to go play beats and go play these songs. And because the first thing they notice when you walk in the studio in the office is you and your swag and how you look. Before you press play, you can't come walking in there and not be on point, because unfortunately they're not going to take you serious.
Well, you know what I think? I think ultimately it comes down is our clothing is our language. It's a nonverbal language.
Yes.
And it's going to show so much about your character, how much you take time to take care of yourself, that you actually thought about this. And it kind of, in a weird way, says a lot in terms of how you show up as a friend, how you show up as a partner, how you show up as a son, a father, a mother, etc. It is a language. I took the time to take care of myself. So now that means I am that person that's going to be there to listen. And so I don't think this is my POV, obviously. This is what I think. And part of it for me is fashion was always, I didn't speak English when I first came to this country. So I used fashion to kind of express myself. Wow. And that's essentially what I was doing. That's why I love fashion so much. And obviously I love psychology so much. But it is a language. It's a language that we use to speak to each other, what we're into, how I took the time to take care of myself, etc. Now, obviously you mentioned you're a church boy, right? You're also in the music industry.
Yeah.
So your first year, you're blowing through a lot of money. I mean, I'm sure now you're older, you're probably mature compared to when you first got into the music industry. But how do you maintain your sanity, I guess, in an industry that is really encouraging you constantly to do non-godly things?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So tell us about your journey through that, like versus when you first started, to then when you started, like, growing older and seeing things a little differently.
Absolutely. I mean, my parents, I owe that to my parents, forcing us to go to church. And, when you're younger, they got to force you. You don't want to go to church, man. You want to lay down, you want to stay in the bed, you want to watch cartoons on a Sunday. But they didn't play. Everybody in this household is going to church. You're going to know about God. You're going to, you're going to learn about God and know who he is and know how influential he is in your life. So, you kind of think you're not paying attention, or you don't want to pay attention, but you kind of are. You know what I mean? And as time, for years and years of going to church every Sunday, you're listening. You're taking in information and scriptures and the word of God, and me being a music lover and being a part of the band and the church band. And so I just always was surrounded by God and God's word. And I knew that I was going to need it for what it was that I was trying to do. And like you said, the industry that I was trying to be a part of. Just thinking about, like, forget the industry. Think about, like, just my neighborhood and where I'm from.
How did you navigate that growing up?
Just that. And it was scary, man. It was a scary thing. My parents were both very prayerful. I used to call it I had the kung fu grip on me and my siblings. Like, we couldn't do nothing and go nowhere. The only place I can go, I want to go outside. No. Can I go my friend over here to bowling? No. Can I go to this party? Absolutely no. Like, the only thing I got a yes to was to go play drums in school and to go play drums in church. Okay. So that's how the love developed and the passion developed, because it was my only outlet. It's the only thing they was like, all right, cool, you can go do that, because we know you're safe, we know you're good, we know you're doing the right thing. So God is everything, man. And, obviously I'm far from perfect, but he's on my life. He's in my life. I'm not ashamed of that. I show it. Everybody that I've been blessed to work with, every artist, see the God in me. They respect it. They respect me. They respect who I am, how I carry myself, the king that I am.
But has anyone ever tried you in any way? Like when you're like in a studio or something, you're like, hold up.
Oh yeah. From I've never tried drugs a day in my life. I've never smoked weed a day in my life. And when people hear the weed part, they're like, how? Right. So first of all, my parents scared the crap out of me with the weed thing, because they told me it was drugs. Yeah. And that's all I needed to hear. So I'm 44 years old today. I have, a 20-year-old son, 12-year-old daughter. Still to this day, never, ever, ever tried weed. Wow. And I came up with the idea of, and it might sound crazy to the viewers, but it made sense to me. I always said, when my son is of age, if he ever wanted to say, hey, Dad, let's try weed, that will be the first time, and that will be the only time that I would try it. But wow. I wanted to be able to be from the Bronx, be from the hood, from the projects, in the music industry, and say, yo, I was around all of this and a part of all of that, but never touched this. No. And I wanted to be able to say that to my son. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing for me. Peer pressure will always exist. Mm-hmm. I've always been a rebel. If I want to do it, let me say that slow for the people in the back.
I want to do it, yeah.
If I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't want to do it, it's a strong no.
Yeah.
And that's all across the board, from drugs to alcohol, women. Like it doesn't matter. If I want to do it, well, let's get it on.
Yeah.
But if I don't, there's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do, no matter who you are, what you are, money, bread, finances, checks, bags, doesn't matter what it is. And I'm grateful for my parents that raised me that way. I'm grateful for my late pastor that raised me that way. And they instilled a sense of fear when it came to those things.
Yeah.
And even as a man, that fear it's the only thing I'm fearful of. That fear still exists.
God was
today.
really protecting you. I mean,
Yeah,
from you were young all the way to like now.
And I see it. Been all around the world. I've been all around the world, and a lot of times I move alone. You know, I move alone, and I move alone based off of I know me, I love me, I know who I am. Yeah. But there's times where you can second guess the individuals that stand next to you or beside you. Yeah. So rather than second guess anything or anybody, I just rather, I always say travel light, travel far. I just rather be solo. And God has always kept his hand on me, always protected me everywhere I went. So now when I reach this age, of course, I'm out.
Right.
Like, I pull up here today. Anybody? Nah, it's me.
So now this might be totally random and off topic to fashion, but say there's a young man out there, a young lady looking to break into the music industry and be a drummer or do something. Yeah. What advice would you have for them?
Do you love it? That's the question I would ask first.
Well, say they love it, but like, what are some things that they need to be mindful of to make sure that they don't get lost in the sauce, I guess?
Yeah. Obviously I can't push God on them. I can share that's the experience that I have and who I am and how I've made it. But it's about, really tapping into who they are, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, and if they're willing to put it all on the table. Yeah. A lot of people want to achieve success, whatever it is, music, fashion, podcasts, teachers, lawyers, doctors, but don't want to put the work in. And that's something that you have to come to agreement with. Like, are you willing to work? My thing is, I never sought out to be the best anything. Never try to be the best drum player. Never try to be the best producer, the best dressed. No, I just wanted to outwork everybody. Because at the end of the day, you can be better than me. You can play drums or circles around me. You can make better beats. But if you don't work harder than me, I'm going to pass you with flying colors. No. And I see it happen over and over.
So in other words, your environment plays a huge role of who you like surround yourself with too, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But people think that they need people.
Well, I think we do need people to a degree.
To a certain extent.
Yes.
Right?
Because I feel that there is also, and this is, again, probably going off topic, that we might be encouraged to disconnect from people all the time. Like, think about the family unit right now.
Yeah.
There's this push, like, be by yourself, don't listen to your parents, do your own thing, do your own thing. But it's like maybe listen, your situation, your family situation could have been so bad that you need to separate.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up.
But just somebody going through that, you do need that separation from them.
Here's the thing. Yes, you do need people. You would want to have people. And if you're blessed to have people, amen. Right. But what I'm saying is, if you don't, let's not allow that to be excuse of why you can't go or why you can't make it, right? Yeah. And I use this reference of shooting in the gym, right? When Steph Curry or LeBron James or, me being, a man, we love sports, or Odell Beckham or whoever you want to name. They're in the gym shooting the jump shot. Yeah. Steph is shooting 300 shots a day. They're throwing, running down the football field, working on plays, catching balls with one hand, and like they're putting in the work. And they're by themselves. Mom and daddy ain't there. No. The siblings ain't there. The coach may be there for a little bit, but you know what? I'm going to shoot 300 shots. I can't say as a coach, I'm going to sit here and watch you shoot 300 shots. I'm going to go to my office. I'm going to go to lunch.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
People are not always going to
perfect your skill. You got to put in the work, essentially. Yep, I agree.
It's nice to have people around, but if they're not, that's no excuse of why you can't do the work and why you can't be great. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, now going back to one more thing, when you first entered the music industry to how you are now, how have you changed? How have you evolved?
Oh man, I'm a completely different person.
Like we talked about, like you mentioned the money aspect. That obviously that's changed. What other things that you can think of?
My why has changed. Okay. I when I came in as a little kid. You're all happy-go-lucky, or you're excited. This is my love and passion. Still my love and passion, but now I have kids. Yeah. Now I have responsibility. I have two, a young king and a young queen that's 100% dependent upon me. Yeah. to lead, to guide, to teach, to protect, to provide for, you know. So, I don't, you know, back then I could have played with the money. I could have played about the money.
Yeah.
Today, no, I don't play about money, man. Because you don't, like, you take the food out of my children's mouth when you play with my money, when you play with that
absolutely.
check. So your why changes, your patience change, what you allow what you tolerate changes. Like, everything is just different. I was a kid. I was a young man. I'm a grown man now. Like, so it's different how I move. You know, the decisions that I make. You know, I think about my kids. I think about my future. I think about, you know, how can this go wrong? Like, I think I don't overthink, but I play a bunch of different scenarios in my head before I decide that deserves a yes.
Love that.
You know what I mean? And just creating boundaries and understanding who I am, what I like, what I don't like, what I'm willing to allow, what I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Having therapy. You know what I mean? And speaking of the things that bother you, or speaking of the things that you've been through, what you've overcome, what bother you. You know what I'm saying? And just being able to talk about that wholeheartedly. Learn to create boundaries. I've learned how to control my emotions. I learned how to control my feelings. I can't let, and I'm pointing to you, but not you, because you've been so lovely to me. I can't let you dictate how I feel.
Right.
You know, and I'll give you an example. Like, last year, I spent Thanksgiving alone for the first time in my life, but that was by choice. So many times we put ourselves in positions that we're not happy, or we'll compromise our happiness and our peace to appease others. And last year, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be around people that I know don't genuinely care, or I know hate my guts, but I'm going to sit down at this table and smile and act like it's okay. You know how much energy that takes from me?
That's a lot.
No, I'm just going to
protect your peace.
I went and got all of the different foods that I liked from all of the different restaurants. And I sat down and I had Thanksgiving, and my therapist was a little concerned. And she said, hey, my phone is going to be on. If you need me, I'm a phone call away. No problem. She said, because I'm a little concerned. I was like, I'm fine. And it was an amazing day. The only disappointing part of the day was the New York Giants losing, but they always do that. And so whatever. But I cried that day, and I'm going to tell you why I cried. It was happy tears. A colleague of mine surprised me with a package at my home. And I don't know why Thanksgiving night I decided to open it. So I opened it. And my colleague, and you got the book, you know, you got a copy of the book. My colleague found the original Smurf drum set from when I was a baby.
Wow.
And surprised me and mailed it to me as a gift. And I opened this as a 44? Yeah. Right? No, 43. So 43-year-old man, I opened up this box to see the drum set that I played on as I was 3 and 4 years old as a kid and as a baby. So and when I say I cried my behind off, and happy tears, because I couldn't believe it. And I'm like hitting it, you know, and I'm like, wow, this is the sound it made. Like, it was all one sound, by the way. This is the sound it made, and this is how much I annoyed my parents, because I can't take the sound that it's making now. And I'm a drummer, so I can imagine what they endured. And you know, I just listen, man. I can go on and on about what I learned, but I've learned to put me first, to love on me, and to only allow people that I know genuinely love me and deserve to be in my presence,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you wrote a book. What's the inspiration behind the book? And I want to get into like some of the story. Not every story. I want people to read this book. It's a fascinating book. I mean, I cried when I read it.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. So, what inspired you to write this book?
So you know, I visit schools and host assemblies about and have conversations with the kids about chasing and living their dreams. Mm-hmm. I was a kid. You were a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, somebody comes talks to us in school. Sometimes we're listening, sometimes we're not. So I'm like, not everybody is hearing the message. Not everybody's remembering the message. They're probably leaving and just going on with their day. So I just kind of wanted to leave them something tangible that they can refer back to. You know, after I visit their school, they can be having a tough day. They could be down. They could be not inspired, and they could just pick up this book and say, I remember when this dude named Amadeus pulled up to my school and he was talking. I don't remember what he said, but he gave me this signed book. At least I got his autograph. Like, it could be the autograph. It could be the actual story. So that was the idea. Got it done during the pandemic when we all had to sit ourselves down and be home because time was, you know, was challenging for me moving around so much. And we got it done. I want to give a big shout out to Lynn Hobson and Trina Stackhouse, my co-authors. couldn't have done it without them. And here we are. And the approach to it was, I'm not a big reader. I'm very visual. So if you want to educate me or show me something or teach me something, show me. Let me see it in a movie. Let me see it in a documentary. Let me see it in a video. I retain information that way. So I said, how can I get the young man and young woman that's like me that may not be a reader to read this book and enjoy it? It's 26 pages in big letters with pictures on each and every single page of me that I went and, pulled out the suitcase of all of the photos that my mom and dad had growing up and, created this book, man. And it's been doing very, very well. Hundreds of kids around the world have this book in their possession and still, working towards getting it in other kids' hands. And I'm grateful to be able to share my story.
I will tell you, you inspired cleaning parties in my household with the kids.
Wow.
Yes. And I want to go to a part in the book where you discuss the day you learned of your parents divorcing.
Yeah.
And when I read that part, I was like, I felt what you felt. Mm-hmm. I was there with you. So how did you navigate that? I mean, it's
tough. It was tough. And I highlighted in the book how it really hit me when I was in school and I had to fill out a questionnaire that asked, were your parents married, separated, or divorced? And all my life I always was able to check on married, and then as I looked at my classroom or, my classmates and discussed it with my classmates, the majority of the class, was always separated or divorced. And I wasn't in that position, and I was grateful to be able to click, married. And on that day, it kind of hit me where I was just like, yo, this is not the same box I'm checking today. This is the other box. So it was tough, man. It was tough. I remember, waking up in tears one night. Mom and dad was kind of, yelling at each other and arguing. And I kind of came out there with tears out running down my eyes. And I was just like, is this it? Because I never seen them, in that light. So I'm like, is this it? And they kind of was like froze and was shocked to see me out there. And they were just like, and they kind of gave me the truth and let me know that's what it was. And that, dad was going to be living somewhere else and we was going to move and that whole type of thing. So it definitely affected me mentally. I was pretty good in school, silly, definitely class clown. But when that happened, it definitely affected me and I kind of was spiraling down a little bit and reacting in school based off of what I was dealing with at home. And then, I kind of got it together and kind of put, the negative energy that I was trying to portray, because that's not who I was, and just kind of allowed the music and the musicianship and those things and those outlets that I had to just be able to, use that to get through, what I was able to get through.
Well, what message would you give to a young man or woman who is experiencing their parents divorcing right now? What can they do, or what advice would you give them to get through this?
So the cool part was that, I had siblings, have siblings, and we was able to comfort one another. And, I for kids, I would say distractions.
Okay.
As you get an adult, when you become an adult, you learn that distractions are good, but at the end of the day, you still hit with reality once the distractions are over. So I don't recommend the distractions as an adult. But as a kid, I would recommend, do what you love. Have fun, get with your friends, get with your siblings, keep your mind off of it. Most importantly, understand that it's not you and understand that it's not your fault. Because we felt that too. Like, man, is it us? Did we cause this? Did we do this? Most times it has nothing to do with you. And even if you do have a role in it or a part in it, like life be life and life happens. And sometimes, your parents, people that you love, you go in different directions. You go in different paths. It could be parents. It could be siblings. It could be spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends. Think of it like your girlfriend, boyfriend. Not all of us have the same girlfriend, boyfriend. You see things differently. You don't connect chapters, the same way.
You evolve different values.
And you part. Yeah. My prayer is that they're able to co-parent and do right by the kids and still be there as parents for the kids. And even though we're separated now, you can still... because my son had to, experience that. With us, no longer being together and living in different households. And, I look at him today as a young man and I tell him how proud I am and because he experienced a lot in life, you know what I mean? And I admire his strength and his courage to be the man that he is today. And because everybody reacts different from it, you know what I mean? And it can affect people all the way to adulthood, where in their relationships and their friendships, it can affect how they are based off of what they've seen and been through. You know what I mean? So grateful to be able to co-parent and do things the right way and get on the same page to raise this, young guy. And even my daughter, and I'm not afraid to speak on this, where, I didn't birth her, but I'm her dad. I'm her second dad. I'm dad number two. Okay. I won't speak on her father, right. Mm-hmm. But, I'm in her life, and she's 12 now, and I've been in her life since she's 1.5, and that's my princess. That's my baby girl. And my thing is, her mom and I are not together, and we're incredible friends, and I could have made the decision to just bounce.
Right. Yeah.
We're not together, but it was like her mom experienced what she's experienced. Won't get into that, due to privacy, but I don't want to repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
I don't want this young princess to grow up hurt because of, a dad and father figure not being there, and now she's experiencing the same thing her mother did and not able to really appreciate, enjoy love because of your past and your traumas. Like, nah, man, I don't want that for you. So I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be your dad. I'm going to be in your life for the rest of your life, regardless of whether mom and I are together or not, and that's what it is. So that's, the relationship and the dynamic, with my daughter.
I love that. Oh, my God. All right, so we reached the round now where I call this a style confessions.
Okay,
It's a lighthearted round. Okay. I'm going to ask you some silly questions and see how you respond to it, but they are going to be pertaining to...
Is it like a yes or no, or just kind of whatever?
Yes, some of them are yes or no, some just whatever.
Okay.
All right, so if you could change one thing about the fashion or music industry to make it more authentic, what would it be? That's a full question.
Fully loaded.
Not so much lightning round, but...
What would it be? I think, learning what you've taught me today about the Nigerian leather, just giving people the recognition and props that are due, especially if you're inspired by. Yeah. Like credit is, as a producer, my credit is important. It's everything. Absolutely. If you don't know I made it, then, how do I benefit? You can pay me as much money as you want, but if no one knows I made that, it's kind of a losing situation. So just crediting people properly and giving props to where and who and what inspired you to create whatever pieces you're creating.
I love that. If you could wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably be that sweatshirt you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest fashion trend you've ever tried?
It's got to probably be back to when I was young, and because I told you I love colors. Yo, I had an orange suit. I had a purple suit. I had a red suit. I had a any color. Then, so. I'm talking about a full suit, walking around looking like a tangerine. I loved it, and I was cool with it too. I didn't care what people think. I was on the bus going to church in this orange bright suit. Like, funny. You see me.
All right. If your closet was a song, what song would it be?
Ooh, that's fire.
I can see a million things popping into your head right now.
Oh, my gosh.
It's so tough. I know it's probably such a tough question for a musician.
If a closet was a song, what song would it be? That's greatness. I would probably say nothing to do with the lyrics, but just how much I love this song. I'll probably say In the Club, 50 Cent In the Club.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's funny. That's a great question.
That. Your favorite sneaker brand? Tough, right?
Of all time?
No, just it could be all time. It could be now.
Jeez,
what are you feeling right
that's
now?
That's a great one. Man. Is it that or is it this? I might gotta go with Nike. I'll go with Nike.
Okay.
Yeah.
If your closet could talk, what would it say about how your style has evolved over the years?
I'm proud of you, grown man.
I love it. What fashion era do you wish would make a comeback?
I don't know if I would.
Don't call it a comeback.
I like the baggy jeans, the long T-shirt with the jersey era, with the headbands and all that.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was fire, but I can't say I would want to go back though. I like where we are. I like where we are, and it depends. Not the young guns, but us grown fellas. I like where we are, man, because people, they wearing purses and dresses and stuff like that. We ain't rocking that, man. I'm not co-signing that whatsoever. Let's be clear.
That's funny. All right. What's your ultimate power color? The one that makes you feel unstoppable.
That's hard. I like that. Wow. It's tough.
Well, take your time.
Yeah, it's tough.
Think
That's
about
hard,
it.
man. Honestly, purple.
Okay. Royalty.
Yeah. And you took, it is. See, the queen knows what she's talking about. Usually I got to say it, but I ain't had to say it today. Yeah.
All right. If you could swap wardrobes with any celebrity, who would it be?
I love this question.
It can be passed also. That's like one celebrity.
Listen, this is going to be controversial. I don't care. Say what you want. Say what you want. And I'm talking about clothing. I'm talking about fashion. I'm talking about style and grace. Nothing else. Puff Daddy.
Okay, listen. He definitely could dress.
Say what you want to say. Look at the camera. Whatever he has going on between him and God. But when we talk about fashion and swag and inventing, and
I mean, he had also his own Creed cologne that was inspired by the Aventus Creed. Yeah.
And y'all know him right.
Putting all the drama aside, the guy is definitely intelligent and
legendary,
very well dressed, and I mean the music.
Definitely influenced by him.
It still hits today as if it hit back in the days.
I played All About the Benjamins a few days ago in the car on the loudest volume I could possibly play on, and I was yelling to the top of my lungs because that's how amazing the song was. It felt like if we dropped it today, that song is probably like 20, 30 years old.
Wow. Well, today I was listening to Total and Danity Kane.
Really?
Yeah.
You know they're going on tour.
Really? Total?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm so there.
Total 112 in Case.
Oh, I am totally there. What is happening?
It's on right now. It's on right now.
Totally
they're coming to Jersey.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I grew up to like Mary J. Blige, obviously, you know. Like, I mean, at one point I used to do like impressions of Mary J. Blige. She used to look like she was rapping, but she's really singing.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
yeah.
But yeah, I used to go to her concerts.
Wow.
I remember my first concert was the Up and Smoke tour. I think that was my first concert, the Up and Smoke tour. And then I used to go to I went to one Hot 97
Summer Jam?
Summer Jam.
At the
and I'm going to tell you, I have a funny story about that.
Everyone does.
Well, I went there. It's my first time. I don't know what made me think I could wear flip-flops to a concert, but I wore flip-flops. And Jermaine Dupri got on stage and I was up front. But you know how like it gets like even though you bought the seat, everyone just goes up and so I'm very short, so I was like standing on a chair to like see because I couldn't see. And he started throwing dollar bills. Everyone went crazy to the point that I fell. Like I fell off the chair. So then I get up, I make it through the concert. Then on my way walking to the car, I couldn't walk. I remember my friend Perla and I were walking together. I was like, Perla, I can't walk. I don't know what's going on. I looked down on my toe. It was this big. I ended up in the hospital. I broke my toe.
Oh my goodness. At
like
Summer Jam.
My pinky toe at Summer Jam. And that was the last time I went.
Wow.
I was like, what? And I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it until I was walking.
Adrenaline, yeah. You was hyped up. You was turned. You was turned.
I remember that day Neo was singing, and I swear my friend and I, we thought he looked at us. So he's like, I see you too. We were like, yeah, it's us.
And by the way, I love that you mentioned that.
God.
We do see everything on stage. So like if you felt like he looked at you, he did.
No, he like, I mean, my friend and I were like, he definitely like pointed and looked at us. He's like, I see you too. And we're like, hey.
Mm-hmm. We see you.
I don't know.
We see you.
Whatever.
We see you.
But that's a funny story of Summer Jam. But the Up and Smoke tour, I mean, that
was Snoop, right? Was that Snoop?
That was Snoop, Dr. Dre. I mean, remember Dr. Dre's album? What was it called? I don't even know what it was called.
The Chronic was the first one. And
it was sick. I mean, that
2001
album.
was a Dre. Oh, man. Dr. Dre is one of my favorite producers of all time.
Dr. Dre, no. So anyway, it was like the best concert. And I want to say, I don't know if it's like part of my memory, like I made it up, or if it's like real, but I want to say Jay-Z made an appearance. But I can't remember if it was at Summer Jam or was at that concert.
He did.
But I remember the entire stadium, he threw up the diamond sign. I remember the entire stadium like just did exactly what he was doing. And that's one of my moments of me realizing, I was like, this guy has a lot of influence. Like, I mean, I didn't do it. I was like, what in the world is going on?
He said, I didn't do it. But
I had that moment of realization. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what? Like, this is weird. Because I enjoy it, but I'm also a very hyper-aware person. Mm-hmm. And I've been, like, hyper-aware since I was a kid. So I'm looking around like something is up. Like, what is one man doing this little diamond sign and the entire stadium? I'll never forget that moment.
Wow.
But I just can't remember where it took place, whether it was at the Up in Smoke tour or it was a Summer Jam.
Probably
that
both.
I can't remember.
Probably both.
I don't know, but I want to say it was more at Dr. Dre's concert.
Yeah, I feel like
that concert was like, the music was just so good.
Jay wrote for Dr. Dre.
Oh, see, I didn't know.
So it probably was. I mean, he did Summer Jam too a bunch of times, but he probably was at the Up in Smoke too.
And then Jay-Z and R. Kelly album. I mean, it was a sick album, even though like now we don't hear it anymore. But
listen,
I mean,
where did you go see that at?
He is canceled. We can't play his music anymore.
No, I'm playing the music, man.
Yeah,
I'm saying this on camera. Whatever he got going on with his privates.
What's
and
funny
what
is
he
my
did
mom.
Ain't got nothing to do with the music.
What's funny is
a hit record is a hit record.
My mom bought me one of those like R. Kelly shirts that like had the 12 whatever, but she didn't know, and I used to rock it. I didn't know.
You know, I'm glad. I'm gonna share this. I'm glad you mentioned this, right?
The 12 rules of whatever. I can't believe I was rocking that. But yes.
We all, right? We all have fallen short. In our own, you're still laughing.
So funny.
We've all fallen short. I'm the type of person, I don't judge. It's between you and the man upstairs. In regards to the music, because put it like this.
Yeah, the music was
we
sick,
wouldn't be
like,
listening to anybody or we wouldn't be watching anybody, listening to anybody, supporting anybody if we probably knew, you know what I'm saying, all of what the world has done. No. Think about it. Because none of us are innocent. We all fall short. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't get into that. It's like, all right, you cancel things, stop, man. Like, because if they come on in the club, you're moving. You out with your girls and the Jay-Z R. Kelly song coming on, y'all not going to be like, you turn it up. The alcohol is flowing. The liquid courage is rocking. You with your boys. Please stop. It's like, just be 100. Well, I mean, be 100 with yourself.
I could be wrong, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. R. Kelly, I feel like, is the original storyteller, like, remember of a song? Like, it was like a 12-minute, you're like talking about who came, what she did, where he hid, what's going on. You're like part one, then part two. He was the original of that.
A legend.
So I was just like, is it me?
A legend. Crazy. I mean, he's in jail. What else do you want to happen? He's in jail for a very long time. Yeah. Like, I'm listening to the music, man.
Well, I mean, I remember when like the whole Michael Jackson thing, I was like, no one's telling me to cancel Michael Jackson. Like, I'm sorry. I still rock his song. The guys is like, stop making stuff up about him. I definitely do not believe anything that was said about Michael Jackson. Like, absolutely. They, like, targeted that man. Anyway, last question. What's one item in your closet you'd never give up?
Whoa.
Tough questions here, right?
Very
My
tough.
God.
Very thought.
You got to pick one. You got to pick one thing. That's it.
Dang.
Like, for me, it'll be my blazer. Like,
does it have to be clothing, or can it be like a shoe, or can it be...
Well, I mean...
When clothing? Is clothing?
Yeah, clothing, anything. What's one item in your closet? Is it be watches, your jewelry, your hats? I don't know if you're into hats.
I think it would have to be my Timbs, man.
Timbs? Okay. So you're still rocking Timbs today. I need to get a pair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A fresh pair happens every winter. The construction and the black. Absolutely.
Wow, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Eastlands? I always ask this to like
I do remember.
I loved Eastlands. I thought they were like the coolest like shoe ever.
That was like a thing because, it was Catholic school. So that was huge in the Catholic school community. There was a pair of Timberland shoes that were similar to Eastlands. I don't know what they're called. But a colleague of mine, shout out to my brother Chris, he's probably going to be mad because I mentioned it. He purchased these for me as a gift. Mm-hmm. They were the Timberland shoes that all of the kids at school rocked.
Yeah.
I didn't have a pair. They was very expensive. And I shared that with him, and he ordered a pair and shipped them to my house. Yeah. And I put them on as a grown man with some slacks on in a dressy way, and I was like, wow, these are the shoes that I watched for 4 years.
Right.
And couldn't get a pair, and now I'm rocking them today. You know what I'm saying? So when you brought Eastland up, wow, that took me back.
Nike's, like what they call Nike Air Force.
Air Force Ones,
Nike Air Force.
Which I heard are dad shoes.
For me,
now.
I remember them always being in white color. Like, I never been any color. As we grew older, then suddenly it's like, you have the dunks, and then this, and the sand drifts, and...
Yeah. I'm still with the all whites, too. But if I had to go with, like... Between the Air Force Ones and the Timbs, I'll do the Timbs.
But the original aesthetic, like I remember of summer back in the days, was like the baggy denim jeans for guys with like a white tee, a really long white tee with those Timbs. Like that was like the look, the vibe. See, I only remember with the Timbs, like J-Lo wore the monoblonic Tim slash boots. And I remember I bought a pair and I thought it was so cool because that was when you were rocking like those high heel Timbs with like sweats, but dressing them up.
Right.
So I remember like doing that
Legendary.
when I went to go out.
Legendary.
That's what I remember.
Love that.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Is there anything else we missed?
Nah, this is fire.
This was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Listen, we reached the end of this episode. I appreciate you coming on and sharing, giving us your insight and sharing everything. I still feel like we have to talk so much more.
Let's do a part 2.
Well, we'll do a part 2.
Let's really get, most times when we say we're going to do a part 2, we be talking about it, but we don't do a part 2. Let's definitely do a part 2.
We definitely have to do a part 2.
I'm going to put a different fit. I might wear my Timbs that day. We'll see how I feel.
Oh, yes. Maybe I pop my pair.
Yeah.
And at that point, we would have gone to the concert and report back.
Right.
Oh, that's so funny.
Now, this is amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And by the way, tell people where they can follow you.
Absolutely. Instagram, Amadeus PBM, AMADEUS PBM on IG. Website, IamKingAmadeus.com. Once again, it's IamKingAmadeus.com. Reach out, holla, show me some love. Check my fit. You heard?
I love it. All right, everyone. That's all the time we have for today. Until next time, bye. That's a wrap. Yay. That was awesome.